You guys all think Jesus is nice all the time because you haven't read enough of what he does. He's arguing with the religious leaders, and he says, your father's the devil. Okay, that's what he says. He's not very tactful. Your father's the devil. And they come back and they say, I know you are, but what am I? They say, we are not illegitimate children, they protested. The only father we have is God himself. Now, you know what that was? That was a shot. At least we know who our daddy was, right? Jesus never really outran this reputation. Later on, he's in his hometown, and they're disbelieving. His hometown believed less than most of the other places where he was. And at one point they say, isn't this the carpenter? Aren't you the guy that fixed my table, right? Isn't this Mary's son, the brother of James, Judas, John, Joseph, Judas, Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? And they took offense at him. But I want you to notice, isn't this Mary's son? You understand that was not, nobody was referred to as the son of mom. Ever, right? That's how we get Jacob's son and all the different last names where son is in there. It's always the son of the father. And especially back then, women didn't count for anything, okay? You never said who the mom was. It never mattered. So what this was, even if Joseph was dead, which he may have been by this time, he may have passed away by this time, you still would have referred to him as the son of Joseph unless you were taking a shot and saying, isn't this Mary's son? This is their way of saying, we really need to call Maury. And I think this is a big deal because maybe the reason that Jesus had no problem touching the untouchables is because he grew up in that kind of an environment. I mean, think about what it was like to grow up as him. Oh yeah, your mom got pregnant before, they were married. And then she said, you were from God. I mean, can you imagine what a misfit Jesus felt like? Do you ever think that maybe the reason he had no problem going to Samaria and talking to a woman at the well in the middle of the day was because he understood what it was like to be a misfit? I mean, Jews didn't go to Samaria, men didn't talk to women in public, and if she was there in the middle of the day, that was her island of misfit toys. That was her being ostracized by the other women, saying, you can't come in the morning and at night when we do. You got to go in the middle of the day when it's hot and nobody wants to be there. And Jesus talks to her. I mean, I think it's because that's the heart of who Jesus is, but maybe the heart of who Jesus is was shaped by the way he grew up. You think the reason he had no problem talking to a woman like that is because of that? His nickname was friend of sinners. That's what the religious leaders called him, and they didn't mean it as a compliment, but he took it as one. Who was he always hanging out with? The tax collectors and the prostitutes and the sinners. They were always gathered around him. They always felt welcomed. He always had his little island of misfit toys walking around with him everywhere he went. I think he was comfortable in that because that was his background.